Hey guys, it's Alejandro's podcast again with my my guest today. We're gonna do the MMA predictions and our what we think is gonna happen, everything's gonna go down. I'm Alejandro Marchena and my brother here and my partner today, Matthew Marchena. Hey, how are you, bro?
I'm good, man.
So
First, we have the heavyweight division, Derek Lewis versus.
Latifi and well, both fighters. This is gonna be on the UFC 247 card today. It's gonna be at the venue. Is gonna be at the Toyota Center. So if we're gonna start off with the main card, so we're gonna have Derek Lewis 22-7-0 and Latifi 14-0-7. So my predictions was going to happen. I believe that Latifi is a wrestler. Um, he is coming off a loss. I believe if he's smart enough, he'll try to have that game plan, same similar to Daniel Cormier, and he's gonna try to take him down, single legs, double legs, maybe ankle pick him, maybe just to try to clinch him till he gets tired. Because Derek Lewis is known to have a bad gas tank, so he's gonna slow down after a while. But he does hit hard, and he explodes at certain times, so he has to be aware of that. Pulling up right, yeah. See, the heavyweight class, Latifi's looking pretty big, but Derek Lewis has that size advantage. Derek Lewis can knock him out in the first round if he wants, but it's gonna be very hard. It could be a very boring fight as well. You might just see Latifi hanging on, Derek Lewis on a single leg, clinching, not doing much, just trying to survive. What do you think? What's your take on this fight?
Like you said, Latifi is he's a great wrestler. So I think my prediction is early rounds. I see Derek Lewis getting the win, knockout. Goes to the later rounds. I think Latifi will take the win from there.
Yeah, I believe you'll probably if the rounds go 3 rounds and no one gets knocked out or technically knocked out, then Latifi most definitely will gonna have the decision win, probably by a takedown or just ground control. Because Derek Lewis doesn't really have any type of good defense on the ground. With all due respect, I love this guy. I've seen him. I've interviewed you before, but it does happen. You have to have. I believe he just needs to have a better team, honestly, to have a better ground game or see someone that has the specialty in the ground, so you could just have your game better. So next fight we have the featherweight fight, Misrad Bektik versus Dan Ige. Can you pull that up, Alan? Dan Ige versus Misrad Bektik. It's at a featherweight fight. Let's see if we can pull that up real quick.
They both have the same, not almost, but close to the same amount of experience, same amount of fights. Who do you think has this in the
Yeah,
bag? Who do you think has the win here?
I believe maybe Bektik for a little bit more. He just has a fight over him, but most of these guys have something to prove. They have something to show. Who's gonna show up that night? Who's gonna have the better name? Who's gonna rise to the occasion? And maybe I feel like Bektik has it. He's more of a name. That age, not very well known, but he can surprise a lot of people. I feel like this is an even fight to put your money on.
Yeah, like you said, I think whoever shows up on the night, whoever's the better man on the night will take the win. On the heavyweight division, I think for the next fight, I have Juan Adams winning.
Yeah, if you can pull that out, please. Juan Adams versus Justin Tafa. So, little little information. Both guys coming off losses. It's not very good to have 2 losses already on your record. And these guys, they are. I mean, for me, Juan Adams isn't very. He's not good. Well, he's not well rounded, or he's not. He doesn't have good striking. His ground is terrible. And Justin Tafa, I feel like he does have striking capabilities, but that jaw doesn't hold up right. That chin is not how it used to be. And I feel like this one could go to Justin Tafa. Juan Adams he tends to not really he panicked against Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy, he should have ran him over, but he didn't. He got hit, he got caught, and then he got taken down, and there was a TKO. It's not. Juan Adams does not have this fight. I think he's gonna lose this fight. It wasn't a very good fight to pick for him, because Justin Tafa does have experience. But that's my pick. I feel like Justin Tafa is gonna be the most likely winner of the favorite for this fight. Juan Adams against Greg Hardy. It was a mediocre fight. Like it just ended so quick, and it was very poorly done. What do you think about? What's your take on it?
I think both these guys have something to prove coming off losses. Fighters become a little bit discouraged. I think Justin Tafa will take the win here.
Okay, now moving on. Yeah, also to add, both these guys do have losses. Then they need this one very bad because most of these guys are just on a losing streak. Doesn't look good. It shows in their performances as well. So now, if you can, moving on to the women flyweights, Valentina Shevchenko versus Caitlin Chukaji. I feel, not to be biased or anything, I am Peruvian. She is a Peruvian fighter as well. She's not repping as much, which is very. I have my bones to pick with that, but Valentina Shevchenko, I feel like she will probably get the second round, middle, not TKO, technical knockout, because she has outstanding kickboxing. She just what she did her 2 fights ago. She just knocked her out with a head kick. He just played it so smart. Just went down, and she just went straight up, hit body, and then just head and just out. She was out cold. Just a guy was out cold. No controversial. This is just. She's not gonna look good. Valentina's a great champ. She's gonna have. I feel like she will have a long run, and she is probably gonna be one of the best. Maybe right under Amanda Nunes for now, and then you never know what they could do. Maybe they'll fight, but I think that would be too early. I just want Valentina to keep defending her belt and having more experience in fights, and then one day she could challenge the beast, the king of the women's fighting, and that is Amanda Nunes. What's your pick?
I also think the killer Valentina Shevchenko will take the win on this. I'm predicting round 1 KO. If you want to bet on that, please bet on Valentina Shevchenko.
Shevchenko is going to be a very smart bet. She's probably going to be a favorite as well because she's outstanding. Her ground game is actually pretty good as well. She has taken down people. She controls the body and she just lays a ground and pound on you that you will not be able to leave. And now for the main event, this very controversial, hilarious fight. We have John Boney Jones, quote unquote, against Dominic Reyes. And not many of you guys know that Dominic Reyes used to play for the NFL. He was in the NFL. He was a football player. He's a pretty big guy himself. But the funny thing I found hilarious is that this guy, Dominic Reyes, was saying that John Jones never had an athlete like him. It's really funny because Daniel Cormier was an Olympic gold medalist. Compared to this guy, he's just played in the NFL. What does that have to do anything with fighting? Maybe the training you've done, but cardio, but you won't have against an Olympic wrestler like Daniel Cormier. He's done above and beyond. And the fights and the caliber of fighters that DC fought, I feel like DC is still a better matchup than everyone that he faces, that John Jones faces. And why? Because also Dominic Reyes didn't have the caliber of fighters that DC fought. Chris Weidman is worn out, even though I was a fan of him. Chris Weidman is worn out. He's over. He left his fighting spirit when he with all those losses he takes, and the more losses he's taking, the more depleting his work is. And I feel very sorry for him because it's very hard, I imagine, to just put up your gloves and let them go. So I don't really have a pick for this one. I feel like John Jones is the favorite as well, and Dominic Reyes is the underdog. But it really depends on the first minute of that fight. If how Dominic Reyes comes into the fight. If he comes in, guns blaze, ready to brawl it out, just say F it and just go all in. Whatever happens, and you just go all in. All that hard work you put in, all that shit you talked. If you go in and you do what you say you want to do, and I see that you want to like take this guy down, rip his head off, then I know most definitely you're gonna have a problem with John Jones. It's like Thiago Silva. He went in ready to fight, a real fight. He wasn't scared. He didn't hesitate, and he fought injured. If you fight like Thiago fought, you have a chance. But if you're gonna hesitate at all with John Jones, it's over for you. You're gonna get knocked out, and you're gonna get picked apart, and he's just gonna play with you. Cause John Jones he does have a good eye. He reads very smart. But Dominic Reyes, if you really want to have this in the bag and you want to do it, just go in there. You're ready, and do not hesitate. Just keep going. Put that pace on him, and don't keep him guessing where you're gonna do. What's your take on this one?
I think I have John Jones likes to figure out his opponents in the first round, first couple, second round maybe. So I see if Dominic Reyes could go up in the first minute, earn John Jones respect. I think in that perspective that Dominic Reyes will have to win. However, I don't see that really happening. I think John Jones will pick him apart, and I see a round 3 or 4 KO from John Jones. Also, Dominic Reyes has a winning streak, so he has a lot to prove there if he keep it and become the new light heavyweight title. But John Jones has Dominic Reyes, a young prospect that if he could beat, he could be considered one of the greatest of all time in the heavyweight division.
Greatest of all time, I really disagree because, you know, I don't know. I have very different opinions with Joe Rogan and many people, many fighters, many people. They just say that one is the best. How can you be the best if you've cheated on the sport? You know, like Louis Armstrong, or if I'm sorry if I'm getting his name wrong. He was one of the best athletes, and then they caught him for using drugs or enhancements to perform better, and now he's not one of the best. He's not considered one of the best. I feel like it should be taken in this aspect of the sport as well. John Jones should not be considered the best because he did use many enchantments, and they found stuff in him, and I feel like he shouldn't be considered one of the best. But he's beaten the best due to other circumstances like using substances that you're not supposed to and chance your performance. But thank you guys for listening to Alejandro's podcast for the MMA UFC 247 picks. Once again, I want to give a shout out to Alan My Partida. You can find his Instagram at Alan2Da, and Kevin Cortez at Bevan Cortez. And then my other filmer, you can find him at Nathan.Emily at NATHAN .EMELLE. You can find me on Instagram, Papi.Alejandro, or Snapchat, Alejandro.Break. And my brother, you can find him. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is
where can they find you at?
Full Sand Map. It's 1T, Full Sand Map.
All right, guys, cash those bets in. Get your money. Use mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag is one of the best places to place your bets on. What are you waiting for? Place your bets in. Cash in your money. You think John Jones is gonna win? Cash that in. If he does win, like everyone thinks he's gonna win, you're gonna get your money. But don't sleep on my boy Derek Lewis. I feel like he's gonna pull up an upset. Derek Lewis might be an underdog on this as well because Latifi has that wrestling and he does train with Daniel Cormier, so he might mimic that same plan if he's smart. But like you've seen and like you've heard, Derek Lewis has the heart of a champion. He just fights, he dogs it out to the last second till the bell rings, and he's had last second knockouts. So you could get your money. My picks is underdog, Derek Lewis. Bet your money on Derek Lewis, safe, and Dominic Reyes. Put him as an underdog. You're gonna get maybe double the money. You never know. Juan Adams, he's gone. Taffa has this in the bag. That's my pick. He's most definitely going to have that win, and then we'll see. Thank you guys. Just listen to my podcast, and this is the fight podcast for UFC 247. And until the next one.